Hello Flosstube! My name is Natalia, and this is Official Mermaids Cove. This is my channel where I share my progress on my cross-stitch projects and what all I worked on. This video is going to be my February update, so I'm going to go over everything that I worked on in February. And we'll go ahead and start with what I finished. You've seen some of these before. This is Yippie by Stitchman Darcy. I stitched it on 14 count MCG textiles. No, this is Charles Craft. Well, it says it was one of those tubes, and it said that it was MGC textiles, so it wasn't Charles Craft. And they called it Starlight with gold metallic fabric. I stitched it 2/1 square of Ada, and I beaded a lot of these letters. I was going to do a separate video, but it's not really... I might do another video about how I bead, but for this project, I beaded it in hand, like this. I'll roll it up, and I was beading like that. But this had, I mean, these block letters had a lot of beads on them, so I didn't want to keep having to go back to my bead container and take the beads out. So I had this tin, and if you don't, I mean, if you wanted to find one, you probably get one of those Altoid tins. And what I did is, they're my beads. So I took the lid and I used these cable ties. And you can, it's pretty nice because you can adjust them on the back if you need to. But what I did is, I kind of looped one like that and I put one off to the side like this so that I could have it on my hand. Then I would adjust this one around my wrist. I don't know if this, okay, let's see if you can see that. So this is wrapped around my wrist, this is looped up my index finger, and I lined this. I'm a pretty frugal stitcher. I find a lot of my things when I'm thrifting, so I didn't have double-sided tape, and sometimes I don't like using double-sided tape because depending on the quality of the tape that you get, the stickiness can stick to the beads. So what I did is I just backed it with masking tape. I like folded over the edge and put the overhang to stick to the tin, and that worked pretty good, and there wasn't any residue that was lifting up when I was picking the beads off. But then this way I can't remember if I put it on my index finger or my thumb, which worked out better when I was stitching in hand. So something like this, yeah, something like this. So when I was stitching, I could just pick up the beads and then stitch it. And obviously you can adjust it to make it a little tighter. But yeah, so that's what I ended up coming up with, because there were a lot of beads that I had to put in the letters, and I didn't want to have to keep pouring beads out and doing stuff. So this actually worked pretty good. I might do a beading video. I'm thinking the next project that I'm going to have beading on is either one of my Mirabilias or the Autumn Lane Mermaid, because she has pearl beads. I might do something like this. I might use like a smaller tin lid, because I don't think the Autumn Lane's Mermaid has as many. But I'll try to do a them stitch with me video to show you how I did that. But I didn't get to mention it, and I'm not going to be beading anything anytime soon, so instead of waiting to do a video, I just wanted to show you how I assembled that. Put this away. Okay. So this is my first finish. You've seen this. I've shown this before. I finished that beginning of the month. And then I finished 4 of my Flower Fairy kits. I think I might just keep them in the plastic. So this is the Wood-Sorrel Fairy. It's number 5506. It's a Designs for the Needle kit, Flower Fairy series by Cicely Mary Barker. This is her artwork that they converted for these kits. You can actually, I was looking on eBay, and you can find these in the second market. I'm not sure the price point, but if you're interested, you can still find these, and obviously they're a lot more than what I have to show here, because these are only 8, and she has a lot of different artwork that they converted into these kits. And so this is my finish. Yeah, you can see it through the plastic. Look at how glittery your wings are. That's like my favorite part of this whole thing. And they're not all this iridescent, opalescent thread. This is so cute. The only thing stitched on this one was her dress and some of these flowers, and everything else was just the printed background. And then I stitched the title of the fairy on here. it doesn't have to be this font. Like if you're interested in doing a font or putting a font in your cross stitch, you can just Google cursive cross stitch font and decide what you want to use. Some of them have patterns that you can buy and some of them are free. I have some that I had a band director in high school that let me have some of her cross stitch magazines and stuff like that, and one of those had cross stitch letters. This one I think I had bought off of Etsy because I really liked it to go for these projects, and that's what I've been using to chart the names. So this was the first flower fairy. The next one was the Stitchwort fairy. This is number 5507. I had noticed on one of my previous videos that I had not stitched the lazy daisies. I totally forgot about that, but I did. I put them in. They look really cute. I love this turkey work. It's so fluffy. And she has the iridescent on the wings. She has her headband and her waist belt backstitched. And then her dress is stitched, and then you have these straight stitches down here. That's all the stitching that was on this one. And they're all stitched on 14 count white Aida. It's printed. Turned out really nice. It's a nice size. The next one is the Forget-Me-Not fairy. This is number 5510. This one was different. This one was stitched, her wings are stitched with gold metallic, but they're just as sparkly. Oh, I love it. This one had the most stitching. Like, I think out of all of my projects, this one, so like, just to give you an idea, I didn't really do an accurate stitch count on these, but like this one might have been the least. It had like maybe 350 stitches. This one, oh, I'm sorry, no, this one had like 203 stitches. This one had around 350 stitches. This one had over 1,200, almost 1,300 stitches, because all of this is cross-stitched. All the background over here is cross-stitched. And then you do the stitching for the plants in the background here and over here, and there's French knots here, some here. Then you backstitch the stems on this main Forget-Me-Not flower. And there's some straight stitching for the petals and French knots for the little flower buds. And there's French knots on her dress, and then here you outlined her wings in that gold metallic. I think I liked using the gold metallic more than the iridescent. You know that the iridescent floss has like that flimsy cotton base. I think what I started doing after the fourth one was just to completely take that off and just stitch with the flat iridescent opalescent filament, because it'll start getting knotted and all caught, and it was just a mess. But there's that one. She's finished. I love the sparkles. Okay, and then the last flower fairy that I finished is the Almond Blossom fairy, number 5512. She's so pretty and pink. And I think, I don't know if she has the biggest wings, right? Because Stitchwort fairy's wings were kind of out there, but like, just look at that butterfly shape. And her wings are also very sparkly. She also used opalescent. And there was turkey work. I love the turkey work. So here, her dress was stitched. A little bit of her hat was stitched. The wings were outlined for the veins and that opalescent thread. Then down here, you have the stems are backstitched and all those French knots for the blossoms on the branches. You have this petal that's actually cross-stitched. You have parts of this flower here, like the top isn't cross-stitched, but parts of these flowers here are cross-stitched. And then you have French knots. The stems are actually outlined here. Part of this, the top part of the flower is outlined for like the shading on the stem. And then you have the French knots for the pollen. And this one was around like 700 stitches. So the Forget-Me-Not fairy really had like a ton of stitching. So yeah, that was the Almond Blossom fairy. These don't take a long time to do. If I'm thinking back on it, I think, so Yippie took me like 17 days to work on. This one took me 3. The Stitchwort fairy took me 7. And then when I realized how much stitching was on this one, I like doubled down on trying to get her finished and finished her in 7 too. And this one took me 4 days to work on. Okay, next we're going to go through my whips, my works in progress. The first one I worked on for the month was my Yin Yang Dragons. This is a Gecko Rouge kit. The artwork is by Jonas Jodik. I have no idea. He used to go by JoJo's Art, but I think he's going more by, and yeah, they use their name on Instagram. This is where I am at. I'm not going to take it out of the cross stitch, or the Q-snap this time. I did show it in a previous video, the full, but since I might work on this in a little bit. I decided parking was not working for me. This first whole row of pages up here was done in 1/1 full cross, and then I just switched over to 2/1 tent, and I stitched in all of those threads. I thought I had like someone there or something. I stitched in all the part threads. There's a lot of progress on the face here of the second dragon, and I got a lot of I started working on like the most amount of stitches and colors, so I got a lot of progress on this dragon. Eventually we're going to get to a like large quantity of lighter stitches on this one, so hopefully I'll start outlining this one soon too to match. But yes, I'm happy with my progress. This month I was able to get in over 10,000 stitches, so add an additional 15% to this one for a total of almost 31%. Not quite 31%, but like 30.8%. That's where I am with this one. This is a focus for a finish for this year. I want to get it done. This is supposed to be like a wedding piece, wedding anniversary piece for me and my husband. I'm going to put our details in between the 2 dragons once I finish. So there's that one. The next whip I have to show you is my other Gecko Rouge kit, Dracarys. The artwork is by Dalen Ogden. This is the biggest cross stitch pattern I've ever worked on. It's over 224,000 stitches. This is where I'm at. I'm almost just under 60,000 stitches in the entire thing. This is the halfway point here. I started working more on trying to get this outer rim of the flame motifs done. And then there's also like this large 1-color background here that circles behind Daenerys. And I started on that. That got me a lot of stitches. It's actually pretty nice for just working on 1 color on this. This is also stitched on 2/1 tent. Both this one and the other dragon, the Yin Yang Dragons, is stitched on 28 count gridded even weave. That's what is labeled as on the Gecko Rouge website. I know some of these gridded fabrics are either regarded as like easy count or Magic Guide. I think Magic Guide is the 20 count squares. This is 10 by 10 squares. But on Gecko Rouge website, it just says 28 count gridded even weave. This one I got over 3,000 stitches, but that's like a little over 1% of the chart. I think we're at a total of 26% on this one. Did I write it down somewhere? Yeah, almost 26.7%. I really like working on this one. When it's done, it's going to be amazing. But I'm not planning on finishing this year. Maybe next year. Depending on how much I get done this year, I could reasonably try to plan for a start. But yeah, might be a couple years from now before I actually finish this one. I had this with the chart at first. I was trying to remember. I got this idea from a Flosstuber. And the name escapes me right now. But I love her Flosstube. She does full coverage designs. She was working on one of those cross stitch patterns with the women with like the really big eyes. And I think it was like an astronaut. I saw her working on that before I saw other people start working on those kinds of projects. And she was talking about, I think the last few videos I saw from her, I don't know if she's made a video recently, which is why it's probably hard for me to remember her channel name. But she had been actually branching out into other hobbies, like weaving. Like she had a nice woven scarf that she showed us. But she gave me this idea. I think I'm going to start implementing a little bit differently. So these are like the Dracarys chart has 90 colors. And then if you have bits, you know, there's so many different colors and you don't always use the full length of thread that you might have cut. So if you have any extras, this is a way of keep track of them. You can feed them through here. I'm probably going to start doing it to where I feed the threads in through the back, because then you can see this. And that'll help you better sort through like what colors they are. So I might start doing this on the front. But I don't know if I'm going to go back in and do like take all these out and put them back in. But we'll see. So that's a nice way of just keeping on to the ends of my thread before I go and pull some out from the floss card that all these threads are in. If I remember her name, I'll have to link her with the other Flosstube shoutouts I do. The other one that I worked on, this is not something that I'm trying to get a lot of progress on. I found this as a thrifted, already started chart. This is Sky Hunter. It came with the chart and the whip, the project, but nothing else. It didn't have threads. I had to sort threads. They have a DMC conversion in here along with the anchor conversion, and I just used DMC and kitted it up to finish it. This is my husband really liked this, so I'm going to try to finish it for him. The artwork is by Richard Luce. It's stitched on 14 count Charles Craft Delft Blue Ada. I'm stitching it 2/1. This is where we're at. I put stitches into it every now and then. There's some months that I don't even work on this. This is a good work stitch to take to work. Well, it is and it isn't. I'm still trying to figure out if I can put this into Pattern Keeper, because there's a lot of different confetti stitches, different colors in this rock, and it's kind of hard to keep track of because I don't typically stitch like this, like stitching colors next to each other. I typically like to work on one color at a time, and it's just been slow going. But the chart is in kind of bad shape, so I'm having issues trying to put it into Pattern Keeper. But yeah, no plans for finishing this anytime soon. The next whip I'm going to show you... Oh, those are all my whips that I had before. At the start of February, these are new starts. So I started, this is my Leap Day Sal start. Nope, it's still on the back. This is just if you're interested, this is just a mesh bag that I thrifted somewhere. But it does a good job of holding all my stuff. It has a little bit of a gap here, so try to set it. It's got a flat bottom. Try to set it so the stuff doesn't fall through here. But this is a chart by Autumn Lane Stitchery. It's called The Beauty and the Beast. I'm stitching her on 18 count Ada. I self-dyed this. I think either I dyed this or my sister dyed this. Probably maybe my sister. I'm usually not. She's an artist. She'll play with colors and stuff, and usually I like do maybe 2 tones or 3 tones. So this has a lot of different colors there. This is going to be a mermaid with a sea dragon wrapped around her. This is where I got like 1,500 stitches in, which is like 10%. So I'll probably work on trying to get 10%, you know, every month until I finish her. And she'll last close to the end of the year. And that'll probably open up Christmas for me, so I can do Christmas starts. Work on my Christmas projects. So that's where I'm at with that. This was a new start this month. And then I have one more project that I worked on. Was also a new start. I actually got all of my goals for the month finished early. And so I started Mirabilia's Nightingale. This is like a linen sheet or tablecloth that I bought. I thrifted it, and I dyed it. I ice dyed it with powder red dye, black and red. And I got these colors. Got some nice grays, some reds, some pinks. And I started her. I worked on this yesterday, so this isn't all the progress in February. In February, I got like 4%, so I put in another 450 stitches, so it's like at maybe 8% now. Oh, I'm sorry, no, 400. I had 2% done by the end of February, and then I put another 2% in. I actually can get the Mirabilia charts into Pattern Keeper, so I'm able to track my stitch count progress on there, and then know how much I have left. This is a focus on a finish. I have a deadline for this chart, and I want to try to get it finished before the Stitch Retreat in Stitch, Florida. That's in July. So I'm going to try to see if I can make pretty good progress on this every month, so I can get her done when I want her to. Now, because I thrifted this, and it was just like a tablecloth linen type thing, it didn't really have a count. I tried to count it when it's like stretched like this, and it's like, it's close to 28, actually. I was surprised. I thought it was going to be smaller, but it's like 28, maybe 29. So I'm stitching it 2/2 threads, and I'll see how the beading goes. This is very, like you can see the back, it's very see-through linen. Surprisingly, it's actually, when I got the first few stitches in, I was having issues with my tension, but like once you get started, I don't know, it's been a journey. It's been a new experience trying to make sure that I have the right tension. I definitely need this stretched. I thought that I was going to try to stitch this in hand. Maybe I will with a different piece, but because I have plans for this one, I want it to be look as nice as possible. So I do want to have a hoop or a Q-snap. I haven't tried those, the Nerd hoops. I've heard good things about those, so I might consider using one of those. But so far I haven't in this Q-snap. This is where I am now. I think before, I worked on it some yesterday. I just had this amount done, and then I added this background color here and up here, and more of the beige. But yes, I'm excited. She looks really good on this fabric. I was thinking, like, my vision was that, you know, this is Nightingale based off Florence Nightingale. That's the inspiration, by Nora Corbett. And I was thinking, you know, I had read a little bit about her on Google, and she was lauded for coming up with techniques to help reduce disease and sickness during wartime in the hospitals. And a lot of it was just like housekeeping and showing, right? She actually, I don't know, people were like very skeptical of her reasoning behind it, and that it would actually make a difference if you spent more time trying to clean and like make sure you have clean hands when you're working on patients, etc., etc. And so she used these rose charts to show the difference between what happens when you don't clean and what happens when you do clean. What's the reduction in deaths? What's the reduction in, you know, issues with patients? Like how many patients fully recover, how many don't? And so it was a pretty revolutionary, the way that she chose to depict it and like make it easier for people to understand. And that's where these like blue roses come from. I may have butchered that. Google it yourself. You'll get a lot of good information. But yeah, so I was thinking, you know, like wounds, the chaos of a battlefield, like this is a good backdrop, and then she's there with her lantern, you know, shining light on the situation. It's very hopeful, and we kind of need some of that right now, huh? So that was my last whip. Here, I wanted to share with you some stitchy projects I've been doing. I'm going to the Stitch Florida retreat in July, and I started making some stitchy gifts. The first things that I made, I'll show you these. I had started making some, I guess with the intention of them being scissor fobs. The problem is that some of these, the hooks are not very big. So you would have to have some thinner scissors to maybe fit these on. I'm trying to see if I have scissors offhand that I can grab to show you. Here, let me. Yes. See, like these scissors, the rings are pretty thick. So like this is probably, let's using this one. This one, the lobster claw might be a little bit small for. So you maybe could just use it as a zipper pull or a nice keychain. But I've been making these, and then I had made some longer ones, and then I figured if you're going to use them for scissor pulls, see, like this one has a larger hook. This one might actually, it's just a little, if you had thinner scissors, it would work. This is a, you can hold them side by side. It's slightly larger. But these were meant to be scissor fobs. And I put a poll on Instagram. I think out of the 4 that I originally made, there's this one with the fruits, and this one with some mermaid sequins. And I think this one got the most votes. So, probably because it's a little simplified. And I can't tell how much of it was because it was simplified or because people really like blue. So I started making some smaller zipper pulls with just the, they have the seashells and then they have these little flower beads with pearl beads. I also made this one because since, you know, it's February, you gotta have hearts. And it does have the bigger clasp on it. I love these so much. They're just like, they might as well be fidget toys. This is so pleasing. I was one of those kids that was obsessed with charm bracelets. You know, all the charms dangling. But I have, there's 5 different colors of these. There's green, there's purple, there's yellow. There is blue for all the blue lovers. And then I made some that were like all of them. So it's like nice rainbow. I had this one that was seashells with pearls. And then some more of the different colors. I think this one I doubled down on the amount of sequins just to make it a little more chunky. And I got pink and purple. I made 2 of each of these and then some more. So these were all the scissor fobs and the zipper pulls that I was making. And then I tried my hand at making counting pins. You saw some of them here on my Nightingale. I made some of these. I think these fit the color palette of the, so I fit them there. I got a request on Instagram to make a video of how I made these. I'll probably film that as a Flosstube extra. But they're really nice. Really shiny. But, you know, I couldn't just make 4 because I don't know about you, but I don't do anything halfway. Hence me working on almost a 250,000 stitch project. So here are all the pins. And look, there's so many. So I think there's like a pack of 144. I didn't quite make all of them. I had set some aside to do the video when they requested it, but no, I think I might have made close to all of 144 pins in one day. And then I let them dry. I love these so much. They're so pretty and sparkly. I had slowly been building a hoard of beads from the thrift craft stores I like to go to. And so this was just the perfect occasion to bring all of them out. I cannot go through all these. It would take forever. And I'm trying not to have like 2-hour-long videos anymore. But they're just so sparkly. I made some with just pearl beads. Oh my gosh, I love these. I have like, I'm keeping some of these for myself. I just cannot. But look at how sparkly. And it's a lily. And it's purple. I love it. And there were lots of tulip ones. There's this one. It's a smaller flower. But yes. So these were all going to be coming with me to Stitch Florida as Stitch gifts. I think I might have gone overboard. I think I'm actually planning on making 250 items of Whatsits. See if I actually follow through with that crazy plan. But I'm already 144 there, right? Aside from the ones that I'm going to keep, because who wouldn't keep some of these? Okay, this was the only one of the thrifted flower beads that was like this, and it's purple. This one, I'm sorry if you're like, oh my gosh, I need to have that. This is staying with me. I must have this one. It's so pretty. I really like these beads. I didn't have a lot of them, but they're so sparkly. So I made those. There will be a Flosstube extra video coming out. It's been requested. I'm planning on making it, so keep an eye out for that. Okay. What else? I didn't have a lot of purchases. I'm saving up money. I don't typically spend a lot of money on my cross stitch stuff. I mean, the Gecko Rouge kits aren't cheap, but I try to be frugal and like thrift a lot of things that I buy. I did buy, not the pin cushion, but I bought more of these boutonniere pins from Hobby Lobby. You can get a pack of 144 for I think $2.50, because the pack is listed as like maybe $4, but they have this, you can find these in their wedding section, and they have them, you know, a lot of the times they have the wedding supplies at 40% off, if not more of a discount. So you can buy a pack of 144 of these pens for around maybe $2.50 at Hobby Lobby. So I didn't buy a pack, another huge pack like that. I just bought a pack of 24. I was like, had to stop myself from buying the bigger pack, because it's like, you're not going to make another over 100 pins. Okay, you just need some more to do the video, and maybe a few more to get up to 150. So I had to stop myself, but yeah, so I bought more of these pins. And then the other thing I bought at Hobby Lobby is I saw these. They had all their jewelry supplies at 50% off. And if you look, so it says these are mini lanyards with lobster claws. So I'm thinking these might be a better substitute for, since I don't have the larger lobster claws. They did have larger sized lobster clasps at Hobby Lobby. But I bought these because they were 15 pieces for $5, so half off is $2.50. And I'm thinking I can just take the lobster claw off of this and keep the lanyard. Because then you can loop that, let me open this. You can loop that onto your scissors. And then I'll have 2 for the price of 1. And then I can use the lobster clasp to make more zipper pulls. So you can just loop these onto your stitches, your scissors, and have them hang like that. And I don't need the lobster clasp for that. I can just add keychain. But I'm thinking like some of the longer ones that I made, like this. Okay. These would work to loop onto your scissors. So it doesn't matter if you have thicker scissors. You can still put them on your scissors like that. What do you think? I thought it was pretty good. And I bought like 5 of these. Because then if I get 30 pieces for half off, $2.50. So I have like 150 pieces. So we'll see if I actually end up making that many zipper pulls, but I have a lot. Plenty to work with. Okay. So let me look at my list. I might end up keeping some of these too. I love purple. So my plans for March, I'm planning on going to a fiber festival that's happening like an hour away. I don't know if I'm going to get any cross stitch supplies. I don't know if there'll be any cross stitch vendors there. I might buy some yarn. I also crochet, and I haven't done a project in a while. And you know, there are always people having babies, whether it's coworkers, it's family, and I like making baby blankets, so I might try to find some nice yarn, or try to find maybe some shawl patterns there. So I know that's coming up. My wedding anniversary is this month. I want to focus on working on my Ying Dragons piece and the Nightingale. Those are my 2 focus for finished projects right now. The Nightingale has a little bit higher priority just because it actually has a deadline. And I have it on my list to make that Flosstube extra. I'm not planning on having new starts in March. I'm just not. I know the needlework market's going on tonight, this month. I think this weekend actually, because today is March 2nd. So I think they got there yesterday and they've already started. But I'm not planning on having new starts. I'm going to work on what I have now. So I'll probably go ahead and film a whip parade. I'm planning on making whip parades every quarter, so every 3 months, and then just cycle through my projects, because I do try to finish the projects that I work on. So if I wait until half the year, you might not see everything that I might be working on. So I'm going to try to do it quarterly. So I might go ahead and just film that and put that up, knowing that I'm not planning on starting anything. So let's do shoutouts. The Flosstubes that I've been watching this week are Darren at Dizzy Stitcher. Darren has been trying his hand at charting. He released a video recently that showed a bunch of charts that he's made. I don't know if he's added them all to his, I think it's his Etsy shop. But check them out. They're beautiful. He loves stitching like big cats and birds, like macaws, and some of them look amazing. I have enough full coverage charts right now, but I've definitely been eyeing them to maybe buy and stitch in the future. So check them out. The other person I always watch her videos is Danielle at Stitcherista. She's been releasing some sneak peeks of some of the kits that Diamond? What? You know you have something in your head and then it just leaves. Diamond Art Club? I think that's it. Diamond Art Club released. I don't do diamond painting. I don't need another hobby. I have a puppy. I don't want her eating the drills. Which, I mean, I have a bunch of beads. I'm not gonna go there. But it is very beautiful to see the parts that she's working on, and some of the people who chart, you know, diamond art charts also have similar artwork in cross stitch. So it's always interesting to see what's coming out. She had some new releases here recently that she was showing sneak peeks of that Diamond Art Club came out with. Very beautiful. Definitely go check it out. Pam and Steph at Just Keep Stitching. Oh my gosh. So they had I think Steph is the one who works at Twin Keep Primitives. They always put like a weekly chart promotions, weekly promotions, where they'll put a promotion chart, and I think it's 20% off this year. And the chart that they put up for this year is so cute. I cannot think of the name off the top of my head, but it was like, you know, a very springy chart. It had like a cute little sheepy with some chicks, and it was like new beginnings or hope, or, you know, that's the kind of like, this is terrible. But if you go and watch their video, they said they're going to keep it on there for longer than a week because they're going to be at Needlework Market. So since they won't be making a video since then, they're going to keep it up for maybe a few weeks. So if you want that, definitely go and check out their video, click on the link, get the discounted. It's super cute. I'm debating on whether I'm going to buy it or not. I have so much stuff, and it probably is not going to get started anytime soon, so I might just have to add it to a wish list and come back to it later. But definitely check it out. It's so cute. Yanni at Yanni Stitcher, she's put out a video recently. She showed some beautiful fabrics, some beautiful charts that she's has in her stash. I don't know, I can't remember if some of them are going to be her starts, but I love watching everything that she puts out. She does have some tutorial videos, a lot of videos about how she hand dyes her fabric. Very entertaining, very educational, and she is always so creative. You know, she doesn't have access to all the supplies that you might be able to get here in the States, and she's always so creative about the materials that she uses, being able to use what she has. I'm very inspired by her. Definitely go check out her channel if you haven't heard of her. Oh my gosh, this next one. So Anastasia Meng, and she's at Anastasia Meng on YouTube. She recently put out a video with her husband where he reviewed some of the cross-stitch projects that she's worked on. It was hilarious. You have to go watch it. Like, stop, just pause this video, leave, and go watch that video. It was so funny. I hope she does more. I hope they do more videos of him reviewing her cross-stitch. I think he said he was kind of nervous, but he did great. I loved that video. A Flosstube staple, Chris at Chris Cross Stitch, recently came out with a new video. He started doing Chris's toy chest again. That was so cute. He said that he's gotten questions about other Flosstubers doing it on their channels. I don't know if I have anything from my childhood that I could just pull out. I think I've kind of offloaded a lot of my childhood toys. I don't know that I would have anything to show. I maybe have some stuffed animals, but I don't. I'll think about it. I'll see if I can think of anything that I had from way back when. I don't think I do, but definitely go to his video, and he has said that if you're interested in also doing a toy chest of toys you had from your childhood that you dearly loved, you can. Some other Flosstubers that I've been watching is Nicola at Simply a Stitcher. I love her projects. She works on a lot of full coverage. That's kind of my niche. I love full coverage charts. It's so funny. So I guess she's also, you know, New Year, trying to think about eating healthy. So she has limited herself to 1 chocolate bar a day. And they're like these little mini chocolate treats, but she has like a whole tub of them. I was like, she has better restraint than I do, because I think if I had a whole tub, I would sit that tub next to me and just eat it. Like, that tub would not make it throughout the year. I would not be able to restrain myself to just one at a time. So definitely go watch her videos. The last one, so I have a few people that I saw before I started recording this video, recently released videos. I'm about to run and watch them. Mary Rose at Stitchwort Corner. If you have not seen her videos, go to her channel. And don't just look at the newest video. No. Go back to the first video she ever recorded and then watch all of her videos, and you will not have wasted your time. Every single video that she puts out, very educational. She talks a lot about the artists for the artwork that she's stitching on. Her husband helps her a lot with the videos. She talks a lot about her life. She's so kind. My heart feels full every time I watch one of her videos. You have to go and watch. So she recently released a new video. I'm about to run over there and watch this after this. And then the Violet Stitcher, she also released a new video. I'm going to go watch that. She does a lot of full coverage. She does a lot of dragon design. She loves dragons. You know, this is the year of dragons, so I'm sure she has some beautiful projects that you'll want to go and check out. So that's it. Thank you again for watching. Be on the lookout for that Flosstube extra I'm going to be filming about making those decorative pins. If you're interested in making some of these, it's not hard. They're really beautiful. And you can make something for yourself that you will love. Or you can make it, to give to other people. But thank you again for watching. I'll see you in my next Flosstube. Have a good day, and I hope you get tons of time to enjoy your stitching. And I hope, despite the craziness going on right now, I hope that you find occasions where you can just let a little light shine in your life. With all the chaos going on right now, I am wishing you hope and peace, and tomorrow's a new day.